Not quite live yet. Yes, we're live.
All right.
Got your hair fixed just right. Are you
Well,
cold?
no, I just don't want the bugs biting me.
Oh, yeah. Well, hey, everybody. Welcome to NASCAR Chat with Hamm.
And Hamm.
Hamm.
Mm-hmm.
I am T Hamm right here beside me.
Mm-hmm.
And we got the bigger Hamm over here to my left.
Papa
You'll
Hamm.
see him pretty soon. I'm out here getting eat up by skeeters. See that big skeeter bite
He's
right
delicate.
there? Yes, already.
He
So,
is delicate.
my name is David Hamm. I'm 25-year NASCAR engine builder and 7-year retired jackman. Which meant I went on the road for 7 years. And before that, I was a dealership technician for 5 years and owner of Hamscapes, landscaping, and equipment repair and cars and that kind of stuff. Lots of fun stuff to work on all the time because that's what we do here. But thanks everybody for joining in. It looks like we got Scott Grevison and Lynn Jinks and Rachel Rodman so far, and I'm sure more will join as we go.
And Tracy Hamm.
But if you're new to this channel, hit that subscribe button because every Monday night at 7:30 we talk about NASCAR, talk about the race that happened usually the day before. This week's a little unusual because we're having the chat on a Tuesday night. Since the race didn't happen Sunday, it happened yesterday. And actually, we at Rouse Yates Engines, we were watching the race from the break room, and Doug Yates got us some pizza from that pizza,
Good
which
pizza.
is, yes, really, really good pizza.
New
So,
York pizza.
is that what it is?
Yeah.
Because it's thick stuff.
Pan crust.
All kind. We have a huge variety.
I'm getting chased by
That's one of the things in NASCAR.
huge mosquitoes.
When we eat, we know how to eat. And one of the things at Rouse Yates Engines is we have food all the time. This morning we had chicken mayonnaise from Chick-fil-A. So good stuff. But so we got Linda Jinks making some comments. But today we're going to talk about.
She was ready at 7, she says.
Oh my goodness, sorry about that. Well, we do it at 7:30. Every once in a while, I'll change it up because sometimes I have other things going on.
Sorry.
But the play is now over. We had the Tom Dooley Project play in Statesville, and thank God it's over now because we can move on and no more rehearsals, no more playing around, so to speak, and no more maybe not. So I shaved this off. Tracy suggested that I shaved this last night. No more ham chops.
No, Sunday night.
Sunday
Right after
night.
the play.
The nights are all running together now. Yeah, it was the night of the play. She suggested that I shaved my ham chops. So maybe they'll come back. I don't know. I was trying to bring them back, from the 70s. I'm thinking they had them in the 1800s too, because that's where actually sideburns got the name from General Burnsides from the Civil War. A little bit of history there.
And just FYI, I just broke his antique desk as well. I was like, oh, crap.
Yeah, she's
Sorry.
over here breaking stuff.
Destructive.
It's an antique, and there's a drawer. There's a fake drawer handle. Was
fake.
Yeah, and it
I
just
thought
kind
it
of
was real.
the front just kind of fell off of it.
Yeah, well, I didn't know it was that strong.
Yes. So today we're going to talk about the race, the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series race at Dover International Speedway. I'll preview the race at Kansas, which happens next Saturday, May the 12th, 2019. And as I said, the race happened yesterday, which would have been May the 6th, 2019. It happened on a Monday. And I think you all probably know by now who ended up winning the race. It's not one of our Ford choices, but, we have to give other guys a chance to win too.
Yeah, y'all dominated last year.
The bad thing is we've given them a chance the past, 3 weeks. Ford's going to be back. We'll be back in Winter Circle. I predict this following weekend at Kansas, we're going to be back in the Winter Circle. What do you think, Tracy?
If you say so.
If I say so. Okay, so the finishing order from this past weekend was Martin Truex Jr. won the race, and he was in a Toyota. Alex Bowman was second. Kyle Larson third. Kevin Harvick fourth. We got a Ford in the top 5. Chase Elliott was 5th. Eric Jones 6th. Joey Logano 7th. William Byron 8th. Clint Bowyer 9th. And Kyle Busch to round out the top 10. That was 3 Toyotas, 4 Chevys, and only 3 Fords in the top 10 this week, which is very unusual. But that's Dover. That's the way it is. Concrete track. Kind of a different animal. That's why they call it a monster mile. So Joey Logano was the stage 1 winner. Mark Truex Jr. was the stage 2 winner. And so, hey, if you're liking my shirt here, I'm going to put a link below to where you can have this shirt. And I've actually got my brand on it, my H. Yeah, my H brand. I should act like I'm playing it. Somebody said last week. So I've got one without the brand if you'd rather not have this. But it says what this world needs is more banjo. Tracy has a shirt right here that I created.
Take me to my happy place.
And her happy place is absolutely where?
The beach.
The beach, any beach, some beach, somewhere is Tracy's happy place. Take me to my happy place.
And I have a huge announcement. Other than the shirts, after the video is over, we will post a link to where you can buy them.
Yes, we'll post a link below to where you can purchase these shirts if you like.
And another part of the suspense is my happy place is the beach. And after 6 years, I'm going to get to go somewhere where I've really wanted to go.
You are?
Yes.
Where? We're going. Are we going?
Yes, we're going.
Oh, okay. Because I know you've been on cruises.
Without you?
Yeah. Which is fine.
I'm taking him. He looks good in a bikini.
What do you call it? I'm not going to say that.
A Speedo.
Yeah, a Speedo.
No, we're not going
to. An airhammock.
No.
So anyhow, that's exciting.
No, Daytona Beach. We went to Daytona Beach.
Yes.
We went to Daytona Beach in March.
Yeah, we did.
We're actually going somewhere in the Caribbean.
Daytona Beach was nice, but I really like Destin Beach or Navarre. No, it was Navarre. It was
we didn't do Navarre.
Well, we were near Destin, Navarre. What's in between the beach we went to? Anyway, the Gulf water and the blue water and the beautiful sand. That was a really nice place down there.
Beach seafood is awesome.
And the beach seafood is the best.
Scott knows because he took us to go eat some.
Scott took us out one night to the where did we go?
Off the Hook.
Off the Hook. Off the Hook. Man, I'm telling you what, that was the most beautiful sunset I've seen in a long time. I put pictures on Facebook about it, but the food was off the hook.
Off the hook.
And yes, Scott's the man. He knows where all those good
Scott's going to be going to the Bahamas here in a couple days.
Yep. Beer Man's going to head down to the Bahamas on his boat. How nice is that? From Ponce Inlet, I'm sure.
Is that where he's
is where the boat is? Yes. The Beer Man is in Florida. Somebody who was that asking me? K Ballard 27. Beer Man is down in Florida. Down in where does he go?
Where does he go?
Oh shoot.
Close to Daytona.
I was gonna say Destin, but it's not.
He lives close to Daytona.
Yeah. It's
rock shrimp. Yeah, they had rock shrimp.
Rock shrimp, yeah.
Tracy doesn't eat seafood, so
yep.
Tracy had salad. Yeah.
Go to a seafood place, get the salad. It's the best.
And it's
off
cheaper.
The hook.
It's cheaper. the mixed drinks made up for it.
All right, I'll tell a quick story real quick. I took Tracy to a seafood buffet down in Myrtle Beach. And
wait a minute, backstory.
And I was
David knows I don't do seafood.
Okay, so I told her we're gonna go to this seafood buffet. She's like, "You're wasting your money taking me to a buffet." So the buffet plates were $26 each, and she comes back to the table with this big old salad. And I'm like,
"As a first plate,
a buffet, but you don't eat but a first plate."
Well, I ate a second plate. I even ate a third plate.
She might have had a little bit of chicken or some beef tips
they
or something.
Have different stuff.
Yeah.
So it was in Myrtle Beach. I think it was called Benjamin's.
No, it was Preston's.
Preston's.
Yep, Myrtle Beach is another one of our favorite places. And Scott says Stewart, Florida. That's where he's at, Stewart.
No, we are from North Carolina.
Yes, so
does that say K Ballard?
So I'm gonna go over the point. Yeah, K Ballard. So I'm gonna go over the points. The points standings. All right. Read them and then you can go over whenever I go over my.
K Ballard? Are you related to us?
Possibly because I'm a Ballard on my mom's side. But the point standings, we got Kyle Busch is in first, Denny Hamlin, Mark Truex, Brad Keselowski, Joey Logano, Elliott Sadler. No, I'm sorry. Chase Elliott is in 6th. I don't know why I said Elliott Sadler. Every time I see Elliott, the new guy, Chase Elliott, in 6th place, and Kevin Harvick in 7th, Kurt Busch in 8th, Ryan Blaney in 9th, Clint Boyer in 10th, Ryan Newman in 14th, Kyle Larson in 15th, and Eric Jones in 16th. I know why, because I've only got in my notes the last names, so I'm having to fill in the first names. So, but with that, in the top 16 the points so far this year, we have 4 Toyotas. Count this: 4 Toyotas, 4 Chevys. Guess how many Fords we got? You did the math. Good job. 8 Fords. Dad, come over here. Come down here and tell us the story. Tell us about the time. Hey, come here. Dad, come here. Over here. Come over here. Come right here. Stand right here. Tell us the story about when you went to Charlotte Motor Speedway and Fireball Roberts got in the wreck. Remember that? Remember being at Charlotte Motor Speedway and Fireball Roberts? You remember the big fire?
I remember.
1964? That 1964?
No,
No. You do. You were there. It was at Charlotte Motor Speedway, and there was a big fire. Fireball Roberts wrecked, and you took off running.
Yeah, but that's a long time ago.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. Do you remember?
Nope.
All right. Well, my dad was there.
Don't say that.
My dad was there, and he took off running to where the big wreck happened when Fireball Roberts had his wreck at Charlotte Motor Speedway. And so, all right. All right. So now we're going to go over we're going to go over some Dover recap notes. So did you read these and see what people are saying?
Hey, Paul. Hey, Paul. Hey, Rachel. Hello, Mr. Hamm. 1964, Rachel says.
Hey, everybody. Yeah, I believe it was 1964.
Hey, Scarlett.
My dad was there, and that was the time. If you look up the
Hey, Scarlett.
if you look up the video, and you'll see that Jarrett talked about whenever he went over there to help Fireball Roberts out. It's a really good story. They got a great video on.
She thinks she needs to kiss me.
About that wreck that Fireball Roberts was in. And my dad was actually there, and he said he took off running down there. I'll have him see if I can get him to remember and tell me the story again. All right, so at Dover, the speeds were close to being too fast. This is during practice. And my question is, what is too fast? What's too country? What's too fast? Does that mean you're on the brink of hitting the wall? Maybe too fast? Anyway, they were saying the speeds were really fast. And I actually saw that. I should have wrote this down, but it was somebody said that their speed was like 19 mile an hour faster going into the turns than it was last year. So with all this downforce and the horsepower and all this stuff, even out, we got fast speeds going on. So this was in practice. And then several drivers expressed concerns following the first NASCAR Cup practice at Dover, with nearly 24 cars posting lap speeds faster than the track qualifying record. What we got going on over here? We got Scarlett coming in.
Scarlett wants my gum.
Yeah. Scarlett must be a little bit hungry or something. I don't know.
No, she's spoiled.
Yeah, she is a little bit spoiled. All right.
All right, Scarlett.
For the 2019 season, NASCAR passed new rules. At tracks under 1 mile, cars run more downforce, but the same horsepower. Under 1 mile. So Dover's a 1 mile track. While the other tracks use the same taper spacer to reduce horsepower, that was not the case at Dover, of course, because it's just a 1 mile. And it's hot in here, and I got my lights on so we can have plenty of light, and the mosquitoes are in here. But hey, right quick. So at Dover, they used a taller rear spoiler, larger front splitter overhang, and a standard radiator pan, all to add the downforce counts. And the faster the cars go, the harder they crash.
Hey, Tom Robinson.
What do you think about that? But I really didn't see a lot of crashes. We got Tom in Indiana. We got, we got Terry Quinn in Oklahoma watching in. We got Paul Rodriguez down in Florida.
Scott in Florida.
And Scott in Florida, which is where I want to be. And
yes, Scott.
Yes, Linda Jinks. Where are you at, Linda Jinks? Is she in Florida too?
I have no idea.
And then Rachel Broadman's down in Charlotte.
That's where we're from. Charlotte.
Yes, we're originally from Charlotte. Rachel's from where is she from?
Somewhere north.
Somewhere up north. But hey, we love her. She's a huge
Linda's from
NASCAR fan.
Pennsylvania.
She's a big Penske fan. She's a Pat Keselowski fan.
And she's a good woman.
She's a good friend to us.
Mm-hmm.
And she's all into the NASCAR Hall of Fame, volunteers out there and helps them out, gets us in.
Oh,
and
she says she's in Concord now. She
moved up to Concord. Okay. She was born in New York. I was thinking New York, but yeah.
Scott's
Scott's down in Daytona, Florida, legendary place that I'm ready to go back
Linda is
real
in
soon.
Pennsylvania.
Oh, Linda's in Pennsylvania. Linda Jinks in Pennsylvania. All right. So we got some worldwide. Good day, mates.
Right. Boy.
Yes. All right. So Kurt, here's one of the speeds that was turned. Kurt Busch turned 168.445. How they record that extra. That's 4 miles an hour faster than Brad Keselowski track record of 164.444 set in 2014. Hey, Macy. And then cars. Let's see. Cars to the rear for pre-race inspection. Some of them, as usual, the way things have been going this year. Post-race penalties, Suarez and Larson, 1 lug nut each, not secure, which is pretty typical. We usually have all these teams with 1 lug nuts loose after the race. All right, so one of the things, and I think Scott hit on this earlier, was talking about Kyle Busch. And if you see if you can see that comment, what Scott said earlier. So I'm going to read this. Well, here, scroll down on your phone and see if you can see what Scott was saying about Kyle Busch. Kyle Busch was not happy with the rules package at Dover. He qualified 22nd, made his way up to the top 10, but after making contact with the wall on lap 252, he fell to the back and finished 10th, but still unhappy with the rules package. He voiced his opinion, said it would fall on deaf ears, and that it would be still the same when they returned to Dover later in the year. And coincidentally, he will not be fined by NASCAR about his comments because, as you've seen in the past, typically when a driver makes some pretty bold comments about NASCAR, they usually end up getting fined. But in my opinion, it's good for the sport because it puts headlines out there, it puts the news media talking. Anytime you have controversy and stuff like that, the news media gets a hold of it, and that's a story, so they're going to talk about it. So that puts NASCAR on the headlines. So why not? Let the drivers voice their opinions. Let them talk. Get it out there. Right? Anybody else have a comment about it?
I'm trying to find whatever you wanted me to find, but I don't see it. There was nothing.
But I didn't hear a lot of other drivers doing it. So I see Linda says Katie is a crybaby. And Scott said he said it sucked. And yeah, that's true. Where's Dale Earnhardt to handle them? Hand down some tissues. That's right. But then Paul says KB has 6 months to fix it. So yeah, I mean, is he crying? Is he just being a baby? Hey, probably because he's used to running good, and if he didn't run good, then he's gonna whine. Because who is that? Kyle Busch. That's right. And Kay Ballard says we were at BMS when Terry Labonte spun Dale Sr. on the last lap and won. Down at Bristol Motor Speedway. That was an awesome race. That was history. And I think that Dale Earnhardt actually made a comment. He was just trying to, what did he say? He was just trying to shake him up or something like that. We miss Dale Earnhardt. Everybody misses Dale Earnhardt. But you know what? We don't have him anymore. And there was a lot of times where that was the fans went. He brought a lot of fans to the track, and then Dale Jr. brought a lot of fans to the track. And it seems like a lot of them have, the rabbit taking off into the brush over there. But you know what? Pick a new driver and go with it. Because, I've heard people talk about Harvick being a new type of leader. There's other drivers but yeah, none of them are going to be quite like Earnhardt was. And when it comes to standing up for everybody in NASCAR and going to the trailer and talking to the officials and all that kind of stuff, yeah, he was the man. But so Scott says 18 was top 11, top 10s in a row. He has 11 top 10s in a row. Yeah, that's true because he finished 10th, and So even though he didn't like the race, he didn't like the track at the time, he still got a top 10. So what did that tell you? He's being extremely consistent. And you know what that means in the end? It usually means you're gonna win or be up in the top for the points championship. But the good news is, how many Fords do we have in the top 16? That's right. We got 8 Fords up there. So let's see. Though a rare and a NASCAR owner also voiced his displeasure, along with what Kyle Busch said. Bob Levine and his driver Matt DiBenedetto spoke of not being able to pass any more cars once he got to the 20th place. So, you know, I did see a lot of single file racing in there. I saw a little bit of mix up on the restarts, maybe two wide, maybe 3. But it was mostly just single car action going on. All right, Scott says Jeff Gordon has a record of 30 top 10s.
My phone's not catching up with your computer, so.
All right. So anyway, NASCAR Vice President and Chief Racing Development Officer. That's a long title. I've never heard a longer title in the whole time I've been in NASCAR. Let me say it again. NASCAR Vice President and Chief Racing Development Officer Steve O'Donnell told on SiriusXM at the top level racing, it should be difficult to pass. Okay. That Busch's teammate had no problem passing every car in the field and even went on to win. Does it make you go, That's true. Kyle Busch's teammate had no trouble passing, talking about Martin Truex Jr., and he went on to win the race. So back to the original point, when Kyle Busch doesn't win, whose fault is it? Or wait a minute, whose fault is it not when Kyle Busch doesn't win? It's usually not his fault. So he's going to blame anybody he can. It's probably run its time blaming his team. So he's going to blame NASCAR. So there you go. All right. So on a side note, Denny Hamlin suffered carbon monoxide poisoning. It looked like some debris came up and knocked out the right rear crush panel, allowing fumes in the car, which is pretty standard. It used to be pretty standard back in the day. Rick Mast actually, I believe that ended his career. He was carbon monoxide poisoning. That's a bad deal. And so I don't know if it's debris or the tire knocked out.
Scott says the Monster Mile is Bristol on steroids.
Yes, the Monster Mile is Bristol on steroids. That's a good point. And if you don't get enough of the car racing at Bristol, there's a horse track right in the inside there.
19 won by seconds. Where is Petey there?
Yes. Where is it? Tell us, Paul. So I was also going to mention that it's been 5 years since Norman Kazamishu. I can always mess his last name, but Norman K, a friend of ours, a friend of Tracy's dad's. If you don't know Tracy's dad, Ken Thompson, worked in NASCAR for many, many years. He started at Hamm and Moody. He left there. I think he worked there from 62 or 63 to 71. And then he worked at Hendricks. He worked for Osterlund whenever Earnhardt was driving there, the old, the yellow and blue car. So
retired with
Rod
Harry
Osterlund.
Gant.
He retired with Harry Gant.
And he made the movie Smokey and the Bandit, the Trans Am.
He made the Trans Ams for the movie Smokey and the Bandits. So, and her mother was Earnhardt. So, anyway, so Norman was a good friend of the family. He was a good friend of Kenny's. He used to come over and hang out in his shop and basically,
every day.
Every day he would come over and watch him. And I actually have a clock right over here on my wall that belonged to Norman. It's an old Texaco clock, and so we keep him in our memories. And it's been 5 years. It's hard to believe it's been 5 years. We just saw him a few days before he passed away on Easter. We were at her dad's and hanging out, and I was showing him the video that I had of us when we were in Japan, and he was a big hit over in Japan because he's got Japanese heritage. I don't think he spoke any, but he kind of fit right in with them over there. He was a great guy. He was a gas man, but I know him many years on the road. All right, so we're going to get on to the Kansas track facts. And if there's any questions, go ahead and throw them up here. Tracy's going to read them to me. Um, questions, comments? You need your glasses.
No, but your hand in the way didn't help.
Okay, so the Kansas track race, it's a 1.5 mile track. It's on 1,200 acres of land. It took $225 million to build. It broke ground in May 25th, 1999. It was built in 2001. And I actually went there for the very inaugural race. That was in September 30th, 2001.
Very inaugural.
The very first, the inaugural, very first common inaugural race. It was won by Jeff Gordon. I was there for the one of the races. It might have been the Xfinity and then the Cup race, but either way, I spent a little bit of time down there, so it's a pretty neat track. Pretty nice
What was
place.
it like to
very,
see the very first inaugural race?
Well, it was the very first inaugural race. Somebody,
I added
you
that.
added that, okay. Well, you know what? The thing about it, seeing these new tracks, it's always really cool because everything is new. I mean, okay, so where you going into Northwest Borough or Talladega, and you have, or let's just say you go into the restroom and you have a trough. So it's very old school, you know what I'm saying? So then you go into these new tracks. That's just one of the things you notice. The bathrooms are really nice and set up a lot different. I mean, you gotta figure if you go to a new place, you always wonder what the bathroom looks like, whatever. So, and then the other thing is the garage areas, because some of the tracks used to have, I'm trying to think, Pocono was like out in the open. Um, you know, but the newer tracks, they all had these nice garages with their individual doors that popped up. And the other thing was the parking lots where you pass through. Usually the new tracks, we could get in through the tunnel and park in the infield somewhere. But if we usually did, but passing by, you would see all the new tracks were usually paved parking versus like Martinsville where you're parking in the grass, parking in the dirt. You know, so
Scott has two questions.
they were always very nice. But
where's the best place to eat some Kansas City barbecue? And what was your favorite memory from Kansas Speedway?
Scott, come on now, really? I didn't spend a lot of time there. I only went there one time. Now, Scott could probably tell you more stories because he was going to the track long after I quit going to the track. My last year was 2001, and that was the year that place
His
opened.
favorite memory is going once.
So, yeah, that's it. I just remember it being a nice new track, and that's about it. And being in Kansas, because it was like, oh, this is cool. You know, I've been to Saint.
Toto.
I went, okay, so I do remember passing by the Golden Gate, the Golden Arch.
Golden Gates in San Francisco.
I'm trying to make sure that I'm thinking about the same track because I remember being on the bus and we saw the big arch, the gateway to the west, right? Okay, that was one. And I saw the Anheuser-Busch building as we were going down the road. So as far as memories, that's all I got from there. I'm sure Scott could tell more. And then Scott is all about, yeah, we weren't in Kansas anymore. Mm-hmm. So the capacity in Kansas is 48,000. Turns are 17 degrees and 20 degrees straight away front. Front is 2,721 feet. The back stretch is 2,207 feet. And if you remember what I was talking about, how they figured out how to do the banking of the turns.
Scott says that's St. Louis, where the arches are. St. Louis is Missouri.
Well, okay. I'm geographically challenged. Yeah. No, you're right. I guess that's true. Okay.
Y'all see him turning a different shade over here.
Well, it's funny because even on the radio, even last night, I was talking about. Oh my gosh, we were talking about. I don't know. I always say I wasn't ever that great at geology. You know, that's kind of a joke. Whatever. So, and that's where I got the whole "G'day Mate" thing from, because we had a band. We were introducing a band from Glasgow, Scotland, and I said, "Oh, g'day mates," you know, like they were from Australia or something. And I'm like, "Well, that's close enough." So the whole "G'day Mate" thing stuck to me, because anyway. And I'm saying my favorite word, like Scott says. Anyway, so qualifying, Kevin Harvick. This is in October 3rd, 2014. He did a lap of 197 mile an hour. which is getting down the road. Raced in Hamlin April 22nd, 2012. Did 144 mile an hour. This is all ends. This we're talking about still. And fans can get an up close and driver crew chief meeting on the fan walk. That's one of the things NASCAR is working on, is getting closer with the fans, getting the drivers closer to the fans to be able to interact and all that kind of stuff. The oldest race winner there was Mark Martin, 46 years old. He was 46 and he won a NASCAR race, which is good, at Dover, and that's a tough place to win a race. Youngest race winner was Joey Logano at 24. Could you imagine being 24 years old winning a race at Dover, of all places? I'm going to throw out a trivia question right quick. Dover International Speedway, what was the former name of Dover International Speedway? It wasn't too long ago that it changed. And I'm going to throw out another one. How many miles did they used to run at Dover before it went to a 400-mile race? How many laps is that? Let's see how many answers we get. So the oldest pole winner was Mark Martin with 50. 50 poles? Oh, no, I'm sorry.
Dover Downs.
50 years old when he got a pole. That's crazy.
Dover Downs.
He's probably driving for us at the time, the poles. I mean, obviously.
Somebody says 500.
Yes. Okay, the answer is
Jake
Paul Rodriguez says Dover Downs. That is the correct answer. And the mileage was, yes, 500. And pretty much everybody's saying 500. It was 500 laps, 500 miles. And that was a crazy race when it was 500 because we had to do pit stops. And it was just like, at the end of the day, we were wore slap out.
Peppermint plant for the mosquitoes.
Oh, peppermint. Okay. I'm going to put some peppermint plants. Next time you see the video, I'm going to have them on top of this car. I'm going to have one there. On my Jeep.
On the desk.
On that tractor. Peppermint plants everywhere. It's going to smell like Christmas in here. Peppermint forest. It's going to smell like the peppermint forest. Peppermint forest Christmas shop. Hey, I need my harmonica.
No, you don't.
Okay. All right. So the most wins. Who won the most races at Dover? Anybody know that? I'll go ahead and tell you the oldest race winner was Mark Martin at 46, which I already said that. That was just 2 years younger than me, and he won the NASCAR race at Dover. Mark Martin. But who has the most wins? I'll come back to that. The most laps led by a winner, Jimmy Johnson, 197 laps. Last year's Kansas May 2018 winner was Kevin Harvick. So you know what? Maybe this will be Kevin Harvick's race to win because he don't have a W this year yet. I don't think any Stewart-Haas teams have a win.
The announcers used to call the 24 hours of Dover because it took so long to run.
Yeah. That was a yes.
What was the answer?
The answer. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm gonna go back to that. That was Jimmy Johnson. Yes, the most wins. Jimmy Johnson. He
Jake
had.
Is right.
Jake had.
McVeigh.
Yep, Jake McVeigh.
McVeigh.
Yes, Jimmy Johnson had 3 wins. So you are the winner. Ding ding ding.
Ding 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 ding.
What else did I say? There's another quiz question that I must have forgot about.
How many miles? How many?
Oh
laps?
yeah. We got that one answered. So, anyhow.
Who had the most poles at Dover? ARCA.
Oh, So click like on this video if you like it. That way it gets thrown out to more people. YouTube sees that we like it.
Or share.
Actually share it too. And make sure you subscribe to the channel. And if you like these shirts, go on there when I put the link below and pick you out one. We're working on keeping all this stuff going. I'm going to plan on doing this every Monday night at 7:30 after the race. Sometimes it'll be like tonight, it's Tuesday night because they ran the race yesterday. But I'm going to try to be consistent with it every Monday night.
Get more consistent.
It's 7:30. Talk about NASCAR, the sport we love, the sport we want to keep going. Support your sponsors. Go out and buy products that you see on the race cars. You know, whether it's the soap that you see, the washing detergent,
the bacon,
the Sunny D drinks, whatever. Just watch your sugar intake because sugar's not that.
Everybody loves bacon.
Yes, Smithfield bacon is really good.
So
Buttons. Follow Tracy's channel. I am T Hamm.
I just uploaded a video tonight
She does all
of the
these
new
scratchers.
Ticket Tuesdays.
She does all these scratch off tickets.
And we're going to be doing some different varieties fairly soon of videos on my page.
And I've got my Hamscapes channel that I'm going to start putting on. I'm going to start taking stuff apart, which is what I like to do. Take parts apart. And when I pull the engine out of this car, I'll probably do a video for that. That'll be on my Hamscapes channel. Maybe I'll do a video taking this engine apart, because what I'm going to do is swap out some parts from this engine into another. I got a whole nother block, crankshaft. I got to balance the crank, do all that stuff for it. So it should be interesting if you're into that.
So Scott
So we're reading
says
some of
Kansas
these.
Speedway is where Sterling wrecked with Jeff Burton and lost the 2002 Cup champion point lead. That
Broke his neck.
that Tony Stewart won that year. Did y'all see that bug attack me?
Yeah, Sterling was kicking butt that year, and I remember being out mowing my yard and hearing that he got in that bad wreck. Yeah, because that was after I was going to the track. But Scott was there. Scott was with Sterling through the wins that he had that year, and they were on their way to win the championship. And Sterling ended up getting hurt really bad. Basically broke his neck, cracked some vertebrae and stuff, and that was not a good deal. So that was at Kansas. Kansas is where, yeah, and that was in 2002.
So then
It's
Rachel
my first year
says
not going to the track.
David Pearson won 6 poles, the most with Wood Brothers and Mercury Ford, basically.
Very
Paul
cool.
says we
That was
need
my
to
driver
get
back in the day.
Ford guys to be organized at the super speedways. Remember, it's their game.
Yes, good point, Paul. We got to get them Fords together. Maybe they will next time. Maybe they had a big meeting with Ford and said, listen, y'all need to get together, because Chevrolet and Toyota said they're going to gang up on Ford and start winning races. The Fords just need to get together.
So Rachel asked, how was it like growing up in Earnhardt? Says that might be an interesting video.
True.
Yeah, so I really didn't know very much about the Earnhardt and racing and stuff like that until I got a little bit older.
Well, but your dad was in racing. You went to Martinsville
But I
when you
didn't
were.
know he was in racing till I got older, because him and my mom divorced when I was 2.
Oh, so when was the first time you went to the racetrack?
I was probably 11 when I went to the racetrack the first time.
You should have walked up to Earnhardt and said, hey, cousin. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I got the king's signature.
Yeah. And you met Harry Gant.
Of course, that's who Dad
Yeah.
worked for. Talked to him for a long time. Very nice fellow.
Yeah, he is very nice. Still going strong. Still got some big hands. Right?
We saw him in Taylorsville about 2 years ago, and he remembered my dad. He said that was the best team he'd ever had, or the best crew, excuse me, that he'd ever had.
Most drivers that I talk to are like, if I think about mentioning her dad, they're like, oh yeah, like Ernie Irvin. I was telling him about, I don't even remember what we were talking about, lawnmowers or something, and I said something about her dad building NASCAR, building the headers for NASCAR.
Hey, Suzanne.
He's like, oh yeah, he
Suzette.
lives right down there. He lives right down there off of 150 in
yeah, everybody
Grassy
knows where he's
Creek or
at.
whatever. So yeah.
Dad's finally
Suzette, hey,
retiring at 72 years old. He's finally retiring. And he's been in racing since he was probably 18 or 19. And not just racing, but the automotive side.
And on top of that, her grandfather worked at Hamm and Moody also. And he raced.
And he got injured, so he quit.
Yeah, there's a newspaper article that shows where he had gotten injured. I don't know if that was like a Metro Atlanta, maybe somewhere down in Charlotte, I guess, where he got injured. And I was probably racing with, who knows, Dale Earnhardt's dad. So
yeah,
I'm assuming.
Just need to do a little research and figure it out, really.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, that's something I need to work on. I need to do the research on that. Go back to the Earnhardts and then her dad, her grandfather racing, and I need to get all that stuff together.
Scott, what do you
The Kyle Petty
talk about?
charity ride.
Charity ride there. Oh yes, I've been
halfway.
following him on Instagram and Twitter and stuff. Not Instagram, Twitter. They got the
Kyle,
baby
yeah.
Overton and his wife Morgan, and they're coming back from, where'd they start? Portland? Did they start at
I believe so.
Portland?
And it was in honor of Adam Petty and the Victory Camp. They're doing that Kyle Petty's charity ride across America. And I was there for the first time.
We may do it next year.
When he came back, the very first time I was there, and Scott was there. I'm pretty sure we were at the. Yeah.
We may do it next year.
All right, so that gives me an idea. But we were at the Stock Car Cafe the very first time that they come back. I remember me and Scott and Mimi Sabatis and some of the other people. The Wendells were there. We were waiting on Kyle to get back, and then he rolled in there. And that Harley, yep, it was in 1995, I believe. Yeah, I'm pretty sure because we were still down in Charlotte. We were still working in Charlotte at the time. And then now me and Scott live 6 miles away from each other, except for when he's in Florida. But yeah, I mean, a buddy of mine, his name's Rocky Lynn. He's a music artist here in Statesville, and he's wanting me to ride with him next year.
Where's he from? Charlotte? Is he originally from Charlotte?
I think he's from Statesville, I thought.
Maybe.
So he's mentioned to me about riding with his tribute to the troops, and I was talking about that on the radio last night too. I said, Rocky Lane, if you're listening, I didn't forget you telling me that. So I'm gonna get to go ride with his tribute to the troops, and Morgan might have said something. Morgan Petty might have said something about
that. Might be a good connection for Kyle too, to have an artist there.
Yes, absolutely.
We got a little business ventures in our head going on.
Yeah, Paul says I bet Scott is about 6 miles from me right now. Yeah, he probably is.
He's in Stewart.
Yeah, that is my Jeep back there, Tom. Yeah, Paul, are you near Stewart?
Scott did the first two, 95 and 96.
Okay. Yeah, he said I remember that night. That's right. And Rachel says Charlotte sure must
have looked different from what it is now. That city is growing NASCAR. Yes, I can remember Carowinds coming.
Yeah, there's my Yep, that's the Jeep there, Tom. I've got the transmission out of it.
Still no lift, Tom.
Yeah, transmission's out of it.
Still
no lift yet. So I'll show you right now. I'll show you the clock. If you can see the little clock. It's kind of behind the shelf. All right, see that post? You can see the motorcycle. Look straight up from the motorcycle. And then there's a clock right there. That's the clock that used to be Norman's clock. Norman Kazamishi. Yeah. And there's Charlie. Hey, Charlie.
Hey, Charles. No, you're not getting up here.
Charlie's a sweetie.
He stinks.
He's my boy. Charlie's been with me since 2009. I got him. I rescued him basically.
We rescued Macy too.
Yeah, Macy too. In 2009 at the pound. And he was a year old when I got him. So I got him in 2009. And so what does that make him 10 years old? So it'd be 70 dog years. Come here, Charlie. 70 dog years now. But Charlie's been the best dog I ever had. He listens to me. I took pictures of him with his paws up on the Jeep, like I'm saying.
He's getting old.
Get up there and get up there.
Some grays.
Put your paws. I say, hold him right here on the steering wheel and don't move. And he'll stand there while I go back and take pictures. He's just amazing. Apparently, but I mean, he still gets around.
Apparently, he's not a Mexican dog.
He still gets around good. But he's I always thought he was a mix between a
Chihuahua.
A Chihuahua and
a
weenie dog. But I don't know. It just seemed kind of big. He seems a little bit bigger. See that?
Charlie, look at the camera.
You can see a Chihuahua on a little bit of his profile.
He's got an underbite.
But he's still a little big. Yeah.
He got a pretty face.
Yeah, Charlie's my boy. But he's great. Down. So Suzette said, Suzette, oh, she's saying hello, Rachel. And Tom says, baby step, Tracy, LOL.
Talking about the lift.
Oh,
it's only been a year.
I know, Tom. It's still there, and I got some sitting out here.
1 year.
I'll show you. I'll turn around the camera because I've got some.
Wait for this, Tom.
Yeah. So I had to move some of the parts out because it was a bit, it was just taking up space. So that's that. And there's our row of the crepe myrtles out here. There's our other dogs hanging out looking for rabbits still.
She's not going to give up till she finds it.
Yeah, you see Scarlett over there in the distance. There she is. Scarlett, come here.
Scarlett.
All right,
big girl.
Here comes Scarlett. Yeah, there's part of my, the rest of my lift. I'm going to clean it up. I'm going to get it together.
Went and saw him.
Yeah, I guess he did. All right, there's Scarlett. Come here, Scarlett. Look at that pretty girl.
Hey, Scarlett.
All right. Anyway.
Here comes Macy, the mama.
Oh, and there's Macy. Yeah. There's Macy, the mom of 17.
She got fixed and gained 20 pounds.
Yes, she did. She gained weight as soon as she got fixed, but she's had what, 17?
Litters. Yep,
Yeah.
17 babies.
She had 11 the first litter and
All right. I don't need y'all.
six
all
the
over
next time. Now we got all the dogs. Usually I put them up before I do my show, but
no, Dad had to call over here.
But yeah. All right. So anyway, if everybody do me a favor and hit that like button and share if you want to. And the other thing is, if you have any questions, put them on here after the show.
What's ICW?
Put them on. We late. No, I don't know. Yeah, if you have any questions.
10-4. I've been traveling.
I get notifications on here.
Oh, Intercoastal Way.
Intercoastal Way. Oh, okay. So Scott's down in Florida and
Scott
he's in
says go to his
Intercoastal Way.
house and do it from his house next week.
Next week? Okay.
Because he'll be in the Bahamas.
Yeah, I can do that. Maybe we'll broadcast from the beer cave next week or the Beer Man's Tiki Bar.
Yes, that's a good idea. Tiki
Well,
bar.
she's
We can
got a
check on
killer
the
tiki bar.
We can check on the racetrack.
Yes. Yeah, the racetrack. I can actually show you the racetrack this time because
actually the track was a little bit better because I went over there the other day.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's starting to look like a yard now, Scott.
All right. Scott, your yard's cleaning up now. It's starting to look a lot better. We'll get it straightened out. Maybe I'll go over there and spray some water on it or something.
Sorry, found you all searching Dover. Where are you from?
Well, that's okay. We are you join our band. We're originally from Charlotte, North Carolina, but we live in Statesville now.
North Carolina.
Which
Where
is
are
just
you
north
from,
of Statesville.
Where are you from, Jake?
Yeah, we're just north of Statesville, North Carolina. I work in NASCAR. I've been in NASCAR 25 years. Tracy's Earnhardt. Her dad worked in NASCAR for
Pennsylvania. We got a lot of Pennsylvania
PA,
people.
yeah. Well, welcome to the show.
Come back
hit that
week.
Subscribe. Turn on the bell notification. We're on here every Monday night at 7:30.
Except for tonight.
Yeah,
Today's Tuesday.
but sometimes on Tuesday if they run the race on Mondays. So, but you're welcome to join in. We got a lot of great NASCAR fans on here. And
Scott loves the Poconos.
Yeah, the Poconos
I've
are
been to
great.
the Poconos and to the waterfalls.
Okay, Raceway is awesome.
Not the Raceway. I didn't.
Well, you've been to the Poconos, to the mountains, right?
Yes.
To the falls too.
I've been to the falls.
Oh, that's nice. I've been by some of that stuff, but usually just on the way to the racetrack.
I even toured the Caesar's Palace. Toured.
Nice.
I didn't stay.
Caesar's Palace, like the gambling?
No.
I was going to say that's
it's the hotel with the big champagne glasses and the swimming pools.
That's in Poconos?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I know it's a great honeymoon capital or whatever you call it. There's a lot of people go there for their honeymoon stuff because it's beautiful. I mean,
Jake is from Gettysburg, Pennsylvania.
Oh my gosh!
Isn't Gettysburg historic?
Yes, Gettysburg is historic. That's where the battle was, and Battle of the Gettysburg.
David's a very historic
War.
person. He's got arrowhead hunting on his page
point
too.
Of the Civil War. Yes, Pickett's Charge. There's a lot of those up there that I would love to go see Gettysburg. I'm sure that when you walk out on those hallowed grounds, that it's very. You probably get. I would get goosebumps. Yeah.
Haunted. Too.
Yeah, it would be very so.
We have a haunted hotel here in our city too.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So they say. Scranton. I've been to Scranton. That's where we usually flew into to go to Pocono. Yeah, we fly into Scranton, get on a bus, and head over to the airport. I mean, get on the bus and head. Well, we did after the race. We headed right back to the airport. But yes, we'd head over there to the race. So
Indians here, Indy 500 coming up.
Oh yeah. So we're in Indy, in the IRP, Indy Raceway Park. Where you used to have to put all your equipment and everything outside the track and take your pit boxes in from outside the track. I don't know what kind of race they race there anymore, but I know they don't race. I don't think they race the Xfinity Series. We raced the series
we need
back
to
then.
come to Indiana for sure.
But yes.
For sure.
So anyway, thanks everybody for tuning in. And,
Memorial Day.
Yeah, Memorial Day.
I'm off
And
work.
oh yeah, you are finally get a day off.
We can
but,
visit you this time
um,
because last year you came here Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah. Well, we just get a 3-day weekend that weekend, but
It's okay.
anyhow, that's is what it is. Thanks everybody so much for tuning in. If you got any questions, comments, go on after the video is stopped. You can go back on and comment and ask questions or whatever. I get notifications on my phone, so I can go right on there and answer you. Don't forget to click like, subscribe, turn on the bell notification, all that good stuff. And we'll just keep going every Monday. I don't know. It's the neighbor's dog.
Oh, still come out here.
Coming out here. You come on. Coming out there, yes. Come on down, buddy. We got a spare bedroom and
2 spare bedrooms now.
yeah, we got 2 spare bedrooms, so bring it. Come on down and hang out with us. Big time. And then maybe we'll come up to Indiana sometime. And everybody have a fantastic week, says Rachel. And you too, dear. Thank you so much for everything that you do. Thanks for sharing this on the Facebooks. Check out our NASCAR country page on Facebook. Check out IMT Hamm.
The assistant.
Yes.
Per se.
She does a great job with that. And Terry sends me a lot of notes and things to talk about for the race. And she's a huge NASCAR Ford race fan, as is Rachel. And most everybody on here, Tom and Linda and Paul, all these Ford race fans. Yep, and Scott. And I don't see Jana tonight, and we got some new people coming on. So anyway, everybody have a fantastic week, and one day closer to the weekend. Tomorrow's hump day, and we will plan to see you back here next Monday night at 7:30. So we'll see you then.
Nice to have met you too, Jake.
Yes, very nice.